I'm still calling it HLM Pussy. It's also known as Sisterhood. You got accepted into the platform section, which is a really, really big deal. You were here technically with Quelques Secondes, which feels like a long time ago. It's almost a decade between creative projects. They say, write what you know, or write when you have something to say. And I was trying to understand that there is a time gap, a creative time gap. Imagine maybe you touched on a lot of screenplays. How do you relate to the world that's explored in HLM Pussy?
Yes, I'm close. I mean, Sisterhood or HLM Pussy is like 60-70% of my life. I'm Amina in a way. Mm-hmm. I'm also the two other, you know, in my character, but I really wanted to speak about the fact that when you live in two different cultures and you have the feeling two or none of them. Like you're not enough this one for some people, not enough this one for some people. And I try hardly to got a step in each side, and that's how I made Sisterhood. Like when I speak about my friends who come from the rich neighborhood and with the poor neighborhood, about like the Me Too situation, I was surprised to see how much it's not the same fight.
Yes.
You know? It's dependent of our background, cultural and financial background. So I was like, wow, that I have to do something with that, you know, because I'm a victim.
Yes.
And of a sexual harassment, and I really wanted to mix those two topics in the same movie. It was really important to me.
Talk to me about the idea of activism in that character and the importance of embedding that in the film. There is one segment, I don't want to spoil it for our readers, but you do reference something that's happening, and I believe it's Latin America, but it's happening everywhere. There's a little video snippet.
Yes.
So just the importance of embedding the idea of activism in very young people, and also her owning something that happened to her best friend.
Well, Amina, you know, when you are 15, your friends are everything. It's more than your family, and you can kill for them. And Amina, I mean, it's like if they belong to this trio, but she knows deeply inside her, like she doesn't want to see it, but she knows that she has to work harder to really belong to this friendship. And she lived with a mother who fight for women's rights. So since really like the beginning, she was born like an activist, you know. And
she knows what Stockholm syndrome is, like a lot of difficult, large, technical, legal terms.
Exactly.
She's very much aware of it.
Exactly, and that's why when something happened to her friend, she wants to save her. Like for her, it's first of all like the way that she can maybe belong to this family for real, and also because she's so. She's like a woman saver in her deeply hurts. So she will lost. I mean, she will get lost in those two needs.
Yeah.
So yes, and you know, I really wanted to speak about this new generation who are in a world adult with adult fights. It's like we let them a lot of shit and just do with what we left you, and they all got problem and they feel like they have to change the world because they want a better future. And yeah, maybe they won't do the good things in the good way, but they just want to change the world. So I really wanted to speak about that.
There's an immediacy, and that's what's challenging to these characters, is that as it's happening to them, they're still figuring out, how do I deal with this? And because they don't have life experience, it makes everything so like everything feels as if it could be a life or death type situation.
Totally. I mean, they are forced to be adults. You know, they learn how to be adults. They learn to be how to be a woman. You know, at this point. So yeah.
I thought there's a couple of things I thought were really special about the film, and talking about Me Too. It's me from my perspective is I forgot that there's people that are young that aren't technically part of that movement, but they're trying to understand how that fits into their very like 10 years ago. Children weren't thinking about that.
Yeah.
So it's a very peculiar thing that you're able to capture, is like, how do they relate to something that's much larger to them, but something that's so in their face. Yeah, I just thought it was a really interesting entry point into that demographic and how they're relating to it and how they're dealing with it, because we don't see this in cinema right now. So kudos on that. Let's discuss the chosen title. So you have an international title. You have the French domestic title that's going to probably be used in a lot more European countries. And I love the idea of HLM Pussy because it underlines the idea of identity. It's also that need to belong. So it's used here in a very creative way by one of the teens. But I just wanted to get a sense of like that title choice. Why is that important? But why does it so descriptive? It touches on so many different aspects of the film, and I was really curious about
how did it come up?
Yeah, exactly.
I had to fight for this title to keep it. Yeah, because pussy, the word pussy was like such gross for a lot of people, and they were like, maybe we will lost audiences just because of this word, you know. But I fight so much because I believed in my title, and I've got the idea when it was during the Trump situation when he said, "Women, I grab them by the pussy."
Yes.
And then after that, you know, a lot of feminist activists like just take this word as a power word. And I was like, okay, I have to use this word as well. Like there's no gross. And HLM, you know, it's Geneva who said like this way for fun, and for Amina, she starts to call them like this name gang because she doesn't belong to the HLM, and for her it's like a way to belong like closer to her friend's life, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a great choice, and actually, also in a way, it's taking ownership of. It could be seen as derogatory, but they're taking ownership of that, and they're using it. They're empowering themselves by labeling themselves like that. There's a really great shot. It's an aerial shot of two buses. I absolutely love this shot. I don't think it's a spoiler, but I'd love to get how you strategize. Like, how was that written into the screenplay? Because it really is different from a lot of the things that we see in the film.
There is a funny story about it. Like, it's one of my first pictures that I had at the beginning of when I wrote.
Yes.
I mean, for me, it's like so. It's a movie. I mean, in one scene you can learn a lot. Explain a lot. And when we had like. My producer said, okay, if we want to make this movie, we won't have like more than $500,000, so you have to do sacrifices. And this scene is really amazing, but it will cost a lot. So to keep it, I had to do more sacrifices, you know, because I didn't want to not this scene happen. You know, it was for me, it was one of the most important scenes. So yeah, that's why it's still in the movie. Even if
I think it's a great descriptive detail about those two worlds that exist, but then are also, they're so far removed from one another. Yeah. I also like, before in the conversation, I just wrote it down. I love the idea of like their friendship. I forgot that friendships at that specific age, it really is life and death. I really like that idea. There's a tricky balancing act that occurs with Amina's identity. She knows where she comes from socially, and her father, he's just as flawed and challenged as any other character. He creates a protective barrier for her, and I find it fascinating, their dynamic, how there's like a breakthrough scene. I don't want to give it away, but she understands his point of view for the very first time, and I like how the chronology of that relationship, the arc of that relationship. How was it sort of like creating that little nest with those actors? I imagine you didn't have them for long, but it's just like really great charged scenes where a child really is immersed in an adult's world, but she also puts herself in her father's point of view and better understands his reality.
You know, it's a part of my own story. I've been raised by a father who comes from Morocco. He was born there, but he wanted me to be so French that he didn't give me anything from his culture that he had to, that he wanted to erase for a while in his life. Like, he wanted to be French as well. So.
And it makes complete sense.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, when you're a child, you don't get it. I mean, you're like, I've got this face, I've got this name, so please just give me something from your past.
And I'm the one that's going to school every day and dealing with that reality.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's like, it's too easy for you. I mean, it's your deal if you wanted to erase everything, but me, I want to be proud of what you wanted to put in a deny, you know. So I think it was really important for me to put this from my real life in this movie, because it makes the character of Amina more understandable, you know. So yeah, and you know, when you're young and you used to hear your parents say, "You will understand when you will be like an adult," or and you don't get it, you know. You lived in the situation in the right moment. You don't give a poop about your future, and she's like frustrating. Like, she wants to belong to this family, and her family is her friends. So yeah, I think it's really important for me to speak about it, like, because my movie deals with about the fact as well to be in between two two culture, you know.
Yeah.
And especially at this age, you know, you want to se fondre dans la masse.
You want to lose yourself amongst the crowd. You don't want to stick out.
Exactly. So yeah.
So if I had to get a sense of where you're going with your films, I want to say that if I had to label you already with one film, I think there's a immediacy, there's a vibrancy, there's something there's a kinetic energy that I feel in this film. I get a sense that that's the type of filmmaker that you might become, that you already are, is that you're going to take social issue related topics and then add something that's palpable. How do you relate to the world that surrounds you as a person, but also as a filmmaker or artist? Like, what are you attracted to in terms of themes or larger ideas?
Oh no, I just want to speak about some history which makes me vibrated, you know?
Yes.
Like, there is too many things in this world who are not, according to me, who don't go in the good side, and we don't speak about it enough. And I'm questioning a lot of, I'm used to question myself a lot. And so yes, for now I want to make movies who can not change the world, but at least to make people think, and maybe to get,
to think and react.
I secretly want like some change. So I hope to continue to make movies in this way, even if they are really difficult to make.
The best movies come with smaller means and tough producers that say, hey, we can't get an extra shooting day, or you're gonna have to cut this out and make concessions. But it's by making concessions sometimes that you find that little indie movie magic and really capture lightning in a bottle. So I'm a firm believer of that. Shukran, merci. Thank you, Nora, for this film, but also for your time here. And looking forward to seeing what you have next in Out of the Drawer.
Thank you.
Merci. Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.